this is Genesis 22, what we read on Yom Teruah. It's usually read on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, but we are celebrating Yom Teruah. Okay, so we're reading both the first and second day reading for Rosh Hashanah Yom Teruah today. So this is Genesis 22. It's the Akedah, the binding of Isaac. Okay, love it.
22 verse 1. And it came to pass after these things that Elohim did test, or I have tempt in English, but it's test in Hebrew, that Elohim or Yahuwah did test Abraham, and said unto him, Avraham. And he said, Behold, I. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only, Isaac, whom thou lovest. And
okay, can I just point out, this is very, very important. It's clear there's 4 aspects that Avraham was tested to take. It says, Kachna, please take your son, your bincha, your only one, et yechidecha, who you love.
No, Isaac.
No, it's who you love.
Isaac's the third one.
No, it's not in Hebrew.
Okay.
In Hebrew, it's Asher or Hafta, whom you love, at Yitzchak.
Okay.
So, there's 4 aspects to it. Your son, Bincha, Yechidecha,
I only.
Hafta, who you love, at Yitzchak. And get yourself to the land of Moriah. Bear that in mind, because when it comes to what he actually offers, and this is also related to John 1,
yeah,
or John 3, I think, we'll just take this into consideration. So carry on reading, love it.
I'll just go over that so it's clear. Behold, I am. Abraham asked of you, and he said, Take now thy son, thy only, Yitzchak, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass. We've heard this before, this phrase, to saddle one's ass. Mm-hmm. It's to bring into control your nature, your human nature, to be obedient to what Yahuwah has asked.
Yeah.
It's possessing your vessel to do the will of Yahuwah.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's really extraordinary that Yeshua rode into Jerusalem on the foal of a young ass.
Yes.
Meaning all his natural nature was under his control when he went to face the slaughter. Praise Yah. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 young men with him and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place which Yahuwah had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abram said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass. Interesting.
Mm.
And I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again unto you.
Yeah.
And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Yitzchak his son, and he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake to Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here, I, my son. And he said, Behold the fire, the wood, but where the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abram said, My son, Yahuwah will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came to the place which Yahuwah had told him of. And Abraham built the altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of Yahuwah called unto him out of the Shemayin heaven, and said, Abraham, Avraham. And he said, Here I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest Yahuwah, seeing that thou hast withheld thy son, thy only son.
You have not.
Sorry, yeah, thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me.
Right, listen, because go back to at the beginning.
Okay.
What two are mentioned here?
The two mentioned here, now seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only, from me.
Yeah, your son, your bincha, and your yechidcha from me. So
Go back to verse 2.
It's twice it's mentioned. So if you carry on going, I'm sure he mentions twice the son, the only one.
Okay.
If you carry on. Just to point out, there's only 2 aspects. 4 aspects were asked to go with him, and Avraham did not withheld only 2.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering instead of his son.
Yeah, instead of his son.
And Abraham called the name of the place Yahuwah Yireh.
Yeah, so the ram was instead of the son aspect that he didn't withhold.
Yeah.
The ram was instead of his bincha, his son.
Thy son, thine only son.
No,
Hang
the
on a minute,
ram.
I just want to say something here. Abraham had 2 sons, didn't he?
Yeah.
But what does Yahuwah say to him? Thy son, thy only son. Okay, there's a distinction there.
Yeah. But it says the ram only came for the aspect that was the bincha.
Thy son, thine only son. He didn't say Yitzchak, thou lovest.
It's the lovest first. And then Yitzchak. What it is though, what's the ram instead of? What aspect is the ram instead of? The ram was instead of his son.
Yeah.
His bano. Okay, so he did not withheld 2 aspects, and God provided the ram for the son. What about the yechidcha? That ram was not for the yechidcha. The ram was for the aspect that of the son that he was prepared to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? The ram only came for the son. So there was 4 aspects that he was asked to bring. He withheld 2 aspects. Yitzchak, whom he loved. He couldn't sacrifice Yitzchak, who him loved. He could sacrifice the aspect of his son. He could sacrifice the aspect of his yechidcha, his only begotten. So Yeshua had to come. Eventually, we'll get there anyway, but the ram only came for the aspect of Abraham's son instead of his son. So that leaves 1 aspect left. That is the yechidcha, the only one. And the only one is the soul level of Yeshua. Carry on reading and then we'll do some out of John.
And Abraham called the name of the place Yahuwah Yireh, as it is said this day, in the mount of Yahuwah it shall be seen.
Yeah.
And the angel of Yahuwah called unto Abraham out of the Shemaim the 2nd time, and said, By myself I sworn, saith Yahuwah, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son.
So twice the angel mentions he didn't withhold his son, he didn't withhold his only one, but he did withhold the concept of the one he loved, Yitzchak. Okay, this is very important to understand. It's very specific wording.
That in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the Shemaim, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. Obedience.
Yeah.
So Abraham returned unto the young man, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor.
Yeah.
Huz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Chemiel the father of Amran, and Hesed, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Yodlap, and Bethuel begat Rebekah. These 8 Milcah did bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And his concubine, whose name was Rumah, she bare also Teba, Gaham, Tashhash, and Ma'acha.
Yeah, so that's the end of the reading. However, we've got to consider what happened to this son, the only one, that he was prepared to sacrifice. Yahweh, when man sacrifices according to his capacity, Yahweh matches according to his capacity. So, 2 aspects Avraham was prepared to sacrifice. He was prepared to sacrifice the aspect of his son, his Benor, his Bincha, and his Yechidcha. So Yahweh matched him with the aspects that he was prepared to sacrifice. The ram came instead of the son, but that left the aspect of Yechidah. What happened to the Yechidah of Avraham? If the ram came for the son, but Avraham was able to give 2. Now we need to go and look at the book of John. So do you want to go to the book of John, chapter 1, lover? Okay. And if you read from 14...
And the Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us. We beheld his glory, the glory as the only begotten of the Father, full of grace and truth.
And read on to 18.
John bare witness of him, and cried, saying, This was he of whom I spake. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness have all we received, and grace. For the Torah was given by Moshe, but grace and truth came by Yahushua HaMashiach. No man hath seen Elohim at any time, but the only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he hath declared him. Okay,
so that's the only begotten Son. The only begotten Son. And if you read that in Hebrew, it's the Yechidah. Yeah. The Yechidah. So they're the 2 words, the only begotten Son. They're the 2 aspects that Avraham was prepared to sacrifice. And the ram came instead of the son. Okay, so then if you go to John 3, you get this repeated. John 3:16. Twice you get it repeated.
For Elohim so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Read up to 19.
For Elohim sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that world through him might be saved. He that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
The only begotten, the Yechidcha and the Bincha of Yahweh. Amen. Yeshua is the Yechidcha, which is the tip of the Yod of his name. He sent a son that was from the highest possible revelation of his name, the tip of the Yod. Okay, when Yeshua died, he rose again, he was resurrected, but then he ascended eventually. After 40 days he ascended into heaven, and the term used is that the Son is sitting at the right hand of the Father. The Son. The son that represented the ram has gone to heaven. What happens to the Yechidah? What happened to the Yechidah? It doesn't say the only begotten son is at the right hand of the Father in heaven. It just says the son, the bincha. So what about the Yechidcha? What is important, this only bit? Yechidah means the only one. Or the darling, isn't it? It's the darling from Psalm 22. The darling from Psalm 22. Let's just read it, because it's very important that we get all these right. Because we've got to be able to make ourselves known to our Jewish brothers and sisters. So we've got to understand what we're talking about and root everything back to the Torah. Okay, and this day is the reading of the Yechidcha. It says, let's just find it. His darling, or his only one. It's not. It's translated different in the Hebrew. But let me just find it. It says, well, I'll just read it. I'll start reading from the beginning. I'll find it. You find where it says the darling. For the conductor on the Ayeleth Hashachar, the rising of the dawn. Mizmor LaDavid. Eli Eli lama azaftane. My El, why has I forsaken me? Why so far from saving me? Why so far from the words of my Ra? Oh, my Elohim, I called out by day, but you did not answer, and by night there is no respite for me. Yet you are the Holy One enthroned upon the praises of Israel. In you trusted have the fathers. They trusted and you delivered them. To you they cried out and they were rescued. In you they trusted and were not shamed. But I am a worm and not a man. Scorn of humanity, despised of people. All who see me deride me. They open wide with their lip. They shake their head. If one commits himself to Yahweh, he will deliver him. He will rescue him, for he desires him. For you are the one who drew me forth from the belly and made me secure on the breasts of my mother. Upon you I was cast from the womb. From the belly of my mother you have been my El. Be not distant from me, for distress is near, for there is none to help. Surround me did the bulls, the mighty ones of Bashan encircle me. Yeah, they encircle me. They open against me their mouths like a lion, tearing and roaring like water. I am spilled out, come apart. Did all my bones, my heart is wax melted within my innards, dried up like bait. Clay is my strength, and my tongue cleaves to my palate. In the dust of death you set me down. For surrounded me have dogs, a pack of evildoers have enclosed me. Like the prey of a lion are my hands and my feet, or pierced as my hands and my feet.
Verse 20 says, deliver my soul from the sword, my darling, from the power of the dog.
I haven't missed it yet. I've not got there. I count all my bones. They look upon and gloat over me. They divide my garments among themselves for my clothing. Cast lots. But you, Yahweh, be not distant. So my strength to my assistance hasten. Rescue from the soul rescue from the sword my soul, from the grip of the dog my essence, or my darling. Yechidati. This is the soul level of the Messiah, Yeshua. He was the highest possible level of soul, what was called the soul of the Yechidah. Now when he died, the aspect to him that was the son, he gets called the only begotten son. We know Avraham was called 4 aspects. He was brought 4 to sacrifice. He only sacrificed 2 aspects, the son and the only one. The son is sitting at the right hand of heaven. So where's the Yechidah of Yahweh? The Yechidah of Yahweh is Yeshua in us. This aspect of the Messiah came down to earth to redeem and save us. That is what we are saved by, the power of his soul, called the Yechidah, the power of the only begotten. is at work within us. It's inspiring us. It's saving us. It's what we are anointed with. It's how we are born again. It's the soul of the Moshiach through which we receive the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, and the Spirit of Truth, as it talked about just in John there. So we've got to understand exactly what it is that's been revealed to us. It's the tip of the Yud of the name of Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, the highest possible level of soul that any human can have, was fully manifest and incarnate within Yeshua. And he's from the very name of Yahweh. The very name of Yahweh was Yeshua. He represented the highest possible level of the name of Yahweh, which is the level called salvation, Erekampin, the long suffering of Yahweh, to bear with us and be gracious with us and be merciful with us and be kind to us, even though we were without merit at all. But by the grace of Yahweh, we have been saved, we have been brought near, and we can now have our life in Yeshua, that is in the name of the Father, and they two are one, and we also can be one. And with that, we will say Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Yom Torah, Hag Sameach. What a wonderful time. Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.